Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Moran, dietitian for the Dr. Yum Project, and today we're going to be talking about the number one thing you can be doing at home to take the stress out of your cooking and make everything go a lot more smoothly. And this is a tip that chefs use, it's a tip that we use at the Dr. Yum Teaching Kitchen, and it's something that I do every time I'm making a meal here in my home kitchen. And it's called mise en place. So mise en place is a French phrase and it means everything in its place. And it really is a game changer when you apply it to your cooking process. Now, when you're cooking, what this looks like is it's you getting all of your equipment ready, looking through that recipe and seeing what types of tools you're gonna need, and getting all of those things kind of set out and ready for you to use. It also means looking through that ingredient list and seeing what you need, but also how it needs to be prepared. So does something in a can need to be drained and rinsed? Does something need to be chopped or minced or stirred up or combined before it can go into the whole recipe once you start doing the actual cooking part? Looking at all of those things and getting everything ready so that once you start cooking, you're not scrambling around looking for some specific piece of equipment or trying to pull a pot out of a cabinet that you need right this second, or trying to chop something really quickly because it's got to go in the pan now and you don't have time and you got to make sure it gets in there before the stuff that's already in the pan starts to burn. Now you might feel like this sounds like something that's going to take a lot of time and I just want to get cooking and I can chop some stuff while something else is cooking and it's going to be fine, and I don't want to waste all this time on the front end doing all this chopping because it just doesn't seem very efficient. And a lot of people feel that way. And I honestly felt that way before I really started using this technique myself in my own cooking years ago. You think that okay, if this thing has to cook for a couple minutes, then I'll just chop the next thing and it'll go fine, and then I'm being really efficient and I'm using my time well because I don't have a lot of time maybe to cook and I want to make sure that I get this done in the most efficient way possible. But in reality, what ends up happening is you're doing that scramble. You're trying to cut something up and then something is burning and then, oh, I forgot to get this thing out of the cabinet. Okay, let's get that. And then now the smoke alarm's going off and it causes this whole chaotic situation. Things start to get messier. You start to make mistakes. It can also become quite dangerous once you start kind of scrambling and running around. Maybe you accidentally burn yourself on a hot pan because you're not really paying attention or you're trying to do something really quickly. Maybe you accidentally cut yourself, or even if you're not accidentally injuring yourself, it can result in your end recipe not turning out the way you want it to. Things are overcooked while other things are undercooked. Maybe certain things didn't get chopped the exact right size, or they're kind of irregular pieces because you were kind of trying to go so fast, and then some things aren't getting cooked through. It can cause this situation where not only are you stressed and the kitchen becomes this chaos area, but then once you're done cooking, it doesn't even turn out the way you would have hoped. So you got to resist that urge to think, oh, I'm going to be super efficient and I can totally do it. It's much better to get everything prepped. And then if you do have some downtime in your cooking, then that's a time when you can start to work on other things that need to happen. So maybe that's when you can start putting some of your ingredients away so you're cleaning as you go. Maybe that's when you can start rinsing up a few dishes and getting those things happening, because those are things that are going to need to happen anyways. So whether you're doing them now while you have a little downtime while you're cooking, or you're doing them at the end in a kitchen that may be much more messy because you were doing this whole scramble thing, running around and pulling things and swinging stuff around, you're gonna have to do all of those steps anyways. So putting them in this sort of arrangement, this sort of order, it creates a much less stressful situation. Your recipe's gonna turn out better. You're gonna get all the stuff done that you need to get done, but you're also gonna have better results, and it's going to be a safer and more enjoyable experience. Another thing to think about with mise en place is how you're gonna arrange all of your stuff. So it can be helpful to have some little dishes or ramekins to put small amounts of ingredients and have them ready to go so you can just dump them in. Of course, you can also use medium-sized bowls and larger bowls for other things that you're prepping that may take up more space. It can also be really nice to just use a large cutting board. You don't have to have, a ton of little dishes, if you have a big cutting board, you can kind of space stuff out in little piles over here. And this may also make you think, okay, well now am I gonna have all these little dishes to wash? That sounds like a lot of dishes, especially if you don't have a dishwasher. Like, I'm not trying to do all of that. Well, first thing to remember is that these things don't really get too messy when you're prepping things. If you just have some spices in here that are all mixed together, that's very quick to rinse out. But also, you don't have to have an individual dish for every single ingredient. So a lot of times what I do, maybe there's a lot of different veggies that need chopped, but they don't all go in at the same time. I'll use, again, this big cutting board, chop everything up and have it arranged in little piles. And then maybe I'll have 1 or 2 medium-sized bowls, and I put the first couple things in there. They're already all chopped and they're ready to go in the pan. And then those have to, cook up for 5 minutes. Then it's really quick to take the already prepped vegetables and put them in that now empty bowl and get them ready to go in the pot. So that's another way that you can kind of reduce your dish situation, but also still use these mise en place principles to make your cooking situation a lot better. And let us know in the comments if you try this at home, because I think you will find that it makes such a huge difference in your cooking. And we would love to hear about your experiences and how it's changing the way that you're cooking at home. And if you are new to the Dr. Yum YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe here so that you can see all of our videos and be updated when we post a new one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.